The biggest daily resources. There are way too many resources on MLB Data Warehouse to go over them all in one video at least. So I wanted to just take a somewhat short video and go through the main ones. The real reason I think most people pay is for the modeling, the algorithms, the scripts, the projections. So that's what we're looking at here. You'll get a little bit of a look at opening day, although there's a lot to be updated here still with lineups and pitch counts and whatnot. Um, but yeah, everybody gets a free look here. So we're going to go over all the different daily resources that are kind of the best things I offer, I think. So first, this all kind of started with me I was playing DFS a lot. So my daily projections we're kind of tailored toward DraftKings DFS. So that's kind of what you see here. I have FanDuel projections here as well. I know that DFS isn't as popular as it used to be, but anyway, the good news is that I'm not just projecting the point total here. I am going ahead and projecting every single individual stat. So people use that for lots of other uses rather than just DFS. So yeah, this is what daily projection hitter looks like. Project out the whole way across, singles, doubles, triples, everything for all the games on the slate that day. Not even, every single team that's playing that day is here, and that's what it looks like in the Google sheet. You have team, I kind of aggregate, sum up all the team stuff as well, give your game info about the money line projected stuff. This isn't my work. This is just a copy of the betting lines and whatnot. And then we give some recommended stacks. This isn't working too well right now because I don't have DFS salaries in here yet, but you can kind of see it just takes the top 5 hitters from each lineup and gives you their projected DK DraftKings total if you're looking at stacks for DFS. Whether this is empty now, that's kind of broken. I'm not sure if I'll be able to fix that. Eventually, I'll give it a look. And then your top plays, this is kind of the best DFS plays of the day. Still, right now, this isn't working because I don't have salaries or ceilings yet. So, but that kind of is your top plays of the day on that tab. Now, going on to where'd the pitcher ones go? Kind of wanted to stick lots to look at here. All right, so here's the pitcher version of it. Kind of looks the same. Here's your opening day. Again, kind of tailored towards DraftKings. This will change a bit on Thursday morning as I get the more precise pitch counts, but just wanted to get things spun up and fix the bugs where they needed. But here's what it looks like. Every day the lineup score is calculated. So for the projected lineup for the opposing team, I do a weighted OPS and a weighted K and a weighted walk score. So this gives you an idea of what matchups are the best. It looks pretty good here. White Sox, Marlins, Nationals kind of at the bottom of the barrel there. But you can look here and say, yeah, I mean, the Twins aren't bad, but this lineup projects to strike out a lot. So Sonny Gray plus there, et cetera, et cetera. So just kind of give you different information. Same thing here with the game line information. So Snell's a minus 155 favorite with the over-under and whatnot there. So that's the Excel versions of these daily projections. These update every 10 to 20 minutes based on what I run for that day. And you can see the last update time there. So that should be going. It runs on a continuous cycle during the day. So once a new lineup comes out, you only have to wait 20 minutes, kind of at max 20 minutes to get the updated projection with that lineup that comes out. Before lineups comes out, it obviously uses a projected lineup. That'll just be the last lineup that team used against the handedness of the pitcher they're facing that day. If you don't like the Google Sheets, which I understand, it's certainly not good to look at on mobile. I have a Tableau dashboard here. This is the same thing. It's just a copy of those projections, but it puts it in a Tableau where you can, filter more easily. Looks like I didn't refresh it in time, but sorry about that. Let's see if we can refresh it real quick. This is kind of the issue with Tableau is that it does not automatically refresh. It is not live per se. I am going to develop a Streamlit application. I think. I'm not sure about that, but that would be a live update that looks a little bit better. But I do my best to refresh this throughout the day. But yeah, just if you're looking more at the projections and you want to have a little bit of a friendlier view, that's what you see here. Again, this is just for that first game in Japan. This never refreshed, I guess, even for the second game. So yeah, that's available if you just prefer that. But again, if you want the more up to date, the live ones, that's always in the Google Sheet. That's the one that gets refreshed. If I'm busy and I don't hit this refresh button that we saw there, then they aren't updated here. But we're going to continue to work on that. The other projection thing is these weekly projections. These need a big refresh. I'm going to kind of ignore these for the first weekend, but once we get some games going, the scripts kind of start working better, the projected lineups get better, the rosters are finalized. But this is what it looks like, at least. So for the next 10 days, every day I run the script and it projects out the next 10 days. So right now that's only 7 or so games because I ran this yesterday and it had 3 empty days. But yeah, what you can see is that I project the whole game by game for each hitters and pitchers. So we see Blake Snell here scheduled for right now, at least projected to make 2 starts, March 27th, April 2nd, and it gives you that game log there. It also allows you to select a date range. So if you're like an NFBC player and you want to just look at, okay, what's likely to happen this weekend, you set in your lineup just for the weekend, you can just go ahead and select whatever date range you want. And it'll update that, show you my projections for the whole, for whatever date range you pick. The summary page is just all of those. It looks a lot of the same for pitchers, but since we have 2 start pitchers, the summary sums up everything. It doesn't do it at game level, so you can see that Garrett Crochet is projected for 2 starts between March 27th and April 2nd, and that sums up their points. So yeah, if you're looking for it, this is most useful, I think, for, I don't know, let's say I need a streamer coming up between these 3 dates for whatever reason. You can go ahead and update the ownership slider here, and you can see that, you know, Logan Henderson might get to make a start. Again, this is probably going to get changed. I wouldn't actually recommend him right now, but just the point being that you can go ahead and sort by ownership to see which pitchers, which players, same goes for hitters, as we'll see, which of them is widely available and projecting pretty well. Also pretty nice to go ahead and see matchups. If you just want to target, say, the White Sox, you can go ahead and here and pick CWS under opponent. And you can see the 6 pitchers that are slated to face the White Sox in the next 10 days. Again, it's only 6 games here because it's a bit behind, but that's a very useful thing. If you're looking to just get ahead of it, stream some guys against bad teams, go ahead and see who's likely to make a start there. Hitters, the same exact thing. Ordered alphabetically, so you'll see that, but you can see here's Aaron Judge looking like he'll start with Peralta, Cortez, Savali, Burns, and Gallen. Here's how he projects in each game. You know, you're going to get a higher projection against Savali than against Burns, of course. And yeah, there's that. You can go through, pick a hitter, you can pick a team, you can pick a park. I don't know, let's see, like, who's playing in Cincinnati? That's a pretty good place to pick. You can even drop down the ownership there. Look at, maybe you're looking at picking up Austin Hayes for some games at home in Cincinnati in that hitter's park, stuff like that. So you can mess around with that. One other thing to mention, this button here, next week only, this is on every tab. If you select one there, and it's actually written in this tab, I'll probably add that text box here too. But if you select one here, what that does is automatically shrinks the let me use this one a little bit better. So we pick one there, clear all these other filters, and what you see is that I guess it might not actually be working right now, but if you select one here, once this really gets finalized and going in the next few days, this will just pick next Monday through next Sunday. That's not useful until Friday or Saturday because I only go 10 days out. So if it's Tuesday, then next Sunday would be, 12 days away, and it's not going to quite get there. But if it's Friday or Saturday and you're looking to pick up guys for the next week, you can select this button. The dates will update. It'll show you that next Monday through Sunday scoring period. But at any time, you can pick your own custom date range there. And then same for hitters. We saw the per game stuff, but now you're looking at here just, who projects for the most points this weekend. That's another good example. We can kind of look at that, 27th through the 30th. And you can see, Kyle Tucker is the man here. The Cubs, I guess, play 4 games, so they get a little bit of a boost there. So yeah, there's that. And then you can even look at, I don't know, I need a steals streamer this weekend. Who can, I'm behind in steals. Who's really low owned that might be able to get some steals this week? Ryan Bliss, Zach Veen, Jose Caballero showing up here again. This will be updated. Veen didn't make the team, but it's not updated for that yet. So that is the weekly projections, very useful. And some improvements on it. It debuted last year, not at the beginning of the year, but in the middle of the year I developed this, maybe even in the first month or two, but this will be the first year of that going all year, and it's been tweaked and updated and should be a little bit better this year. Don't hold me to any of these projections. It's really hard to project lineups 4 or 5 days away. Obviously, guys get hurt, guys come off the injured list, things change, but this is just a very good baseline to see who teams are facing, what kind of games we're projecting, what kind of players are low owned that can do certain things. So useful for that. Now we'll get into the betting stuff, player props. This is updated every time the projections run. So every time the projections run, the daily projections, it compares my projection with the sports book lines, I look at multiple sports books here. Let's just look at one example. We'll really get. I did this before in an article, but it's worth talking about here again. So we're looking at pitcher strikeout lines right now. DraftKings is the only sports book with lines out, so that's the only book you see here. But once Thursday morning, you'll see three, or I think I have FanDuel, MGM, and Bet, and one more that I forget. But there'll be a bunch more sports books here, so kind of accommodating those and trying to find the best lines for people. So let me talk through this. Maybe I can zoom in again quickly on the best strikeout bet that I have is Cole Ragans. It's the under on DraftKings. The line is 5.5. The price is minus 105. So you'd be betting under 5.5, and you'd be getting the minus 105 price on it. Here's what this is. The projection that my model is spitting out with an 80 pitch projection. This will come up because I think Ragans will throw more than 80 pitches, so I wouldn't bet anything right now. But just for the purposes of explaining this, 4.5 strikeout projection from me. That says my proj odds, that says there's a 70% chance of him being under 5.5. It's just kind of there's a statistical trick you can do, Poisson distributions, that can kind of give you anything that increments by 1. It can figure out, I think he's going to strike out 4.5. The betting line is under 5.5. I think there's a 70% chance of him being under 5.5, provided that I think the mean projection is 4.5. It does the same thing with this line, this price. Minus 105 says, the book is saying there's a 51% chance that he's under. So I think it's 70%. The book line thinks it's 51%. That's a difference of 19 points. And you can see that that's the bet value. So we order by big to small. And there's a 19-point edge on this bet. And that would be the recommended bet for the day. Anything over 15% is what I recommend. And that tweaks throughout the year. I kind of follow the model, see what bets it's doing well at and which it's being not so well at, doing so well at. And then I recommend that. So here's your recommended bets tab. This is just kind of another little algorithm that says, well, the model performs, we're expected to make a profit in this model when for a pitcher hits allowed bet. We're looking at least a 20% bet value to recommend that. Maybe it's a little bit less for batter walks or something like that. And we can see that here. So I've got Zach Eflin for, again, their pitch counts aren't exactly perfect right now. But yeah, I've got him for, I guess I don't show that here, but if we go to here, you'll see my projection. I've got him giving up 5.9 hits, and the line is 4.5 for a plus 125. Now that's way up there, 25.5%. So that's quite an edge there. No guarantees, of course, but this is just a smart way to do the math correctly to kind of see where my model is most different from the props. The trouble people get themselves into is that they'll say, like, there's a big gap. Maybe I don't have a great example, but so like this minus 165, right? A lot of people will say, this is a good example actually, like Clay Holmes over 3.5 strikeouts. Like, oh, he'll definitely go over 3.5. Like he's got probably I don't know, like a crazy good shot of getting 5-6 strikeouts. I think he's way better. Except what you don't consider is the minus 165. I mean, you're not paying. That's not minus 110. Like this matters. This price matters a ton, and a lot of people just kind of ignore that. They just want to win the bet. But if you're going to be profitable in this, which is not an easy thing to do, and I certainly don't guarantee that anybody can do it with the stuff we're doing here, you have to be price sensitive, and this makes that happen. So if this price dropped to minus 145, this bet value will go up. It's not just about my projection versus the line. It cooks in the price too. This is the correct way to do it. So I do think there's a chance, if you're smart, to make some money on this. At least I can say, the only thing I can say is that we're doing it in an intelligent way, comparing my projections to the betting lines and the prices. There's also a dashboard for that. This, where did you go? Right here. This is the same kind of thing we just saw with the Tableau dashboard for the daily projections versus the Google Sheets. Just a easier, cleaner way to look at it. But again, it's not live refresh. It depends on me hitting this button. Same rules apply there. But this, if you go ahead and deselect that, show all bets, and then you can go ahead and just select whatever you want. If you're just gonna, I don't know, you're gonna sit down and watch Pirates and Marlins game like I am, you want to see, I don't know, I want to put some money on this. The best line in this game would be an under 0.5 walks on O'Neal Cruz for minus 180. You can also go by market. You can search for a player. You just want to see, I don't know, I want to bet on O'Neal Cruz, select the player. You can see all the lines, not a lot of value here, but the under 0.5 walk stands out. General rule, I'm looking for at least a plus 10 bet value to even really consider it. And then there's just some other ones that are just really poor prices, and that points that out here. Again, sportsbooks, more sportsbooks will show up here. Over and under, you can filter by that. I'm not sure why you do that, but it's there. Additionally, you can just go ahead and say, just show me all, you can use 0.1. Show me all bets of at least a 10%, 10-point edge. Clear all the other filters. Do that, and then you can see everything above 0.1. And that's that. So those are your daily projections and betting tools, weekly projections as well. Really worth the $12 a month for sure, I'd say. I mean, this stuff, these projections are, I cannot say that my projections beat the bat, but I am pretty confident that they beat every other daily projection system. Certainly the ones you get for free. I mean, there's a lot of daily projection systems out there that I've seen firsthand that they just kind of throw stuff against the wall to get them out, and they're no good. So if you're not paying up for the Bat X, then mine work, and it's it's a pretty good system, and it's very cheap. So that's it. And so yeah, those are the tools. You'll get those if you're a paid subscriber. The links will be available to you. You'll get those in the resource glossary and in your inbox here in the next few days. But I just wanted to go over the tools and lay the groundwork for how to use them and everything. So that's it. We're going to get this season going, and we'll talk to you next time.